Okay, so let's talk about Planet Namek real quick. Okay, so Planet Namek, home of the Namekians, green-skinned, pointy-eared slug people who are able to survive on water alone. Namek is one of the few planets that we're most familiar with in the story of Dragon Ball. Namekians are normally a peaceful people with a few exceptions such as Demon King Piccolo and Lord Slug. Planet Namek is also where some of the most significant parts of the Dragon Ball Z story unfolded. We were introduced to brilliant characters like the Ginyu Force, Guru, Nail, Dende, and one of anime's all-time greatest villains, Frieza. Along with a whole host of other awesome and tragic moments. But where is it? Where in the Dragon world is Planet Namek? So I started working on the video with the intention of creating a short. The plan was to research and provide some information on where Krillin would have gone in the afterlife when he died on Planet Namek. The idea came to me when another YouTube video reminded me that each planet had its own hell in Dragon Ball. So for example, when Frieza was killed by future Trunks at the beginning of the Android saga, according to Dragon Ball Super, he went to Earth's Hell. He remained in Earth's Hell until he got resurrected after the Tournament of Power. So the existence of a unique hell means that it should also have its own afterlife. As I began my research, I became more and more curious and wanted to really identify, what galaxy Planet Namek was located in, and through that I could talk about their Kai, the fighters from the Kai's roster, and see if there's any images or any information about the Kai's planet, canon or otherwise. Darting around from Kai to Kai, I started realizing that Planet Namek wasn't turning up anywhere. I was however able to find out some information about the Kais, but I'll save that for later in the video. So what do we know about Namek so far? Planet Namek was first mentioned in chapter 213 of the Dragon Ball manga when Piccolo was told that it was a Namekian by Vegeta and Nappa. The planet's location was provided by King Kai after the battle with the Saiyans in chapter 243, and it was given as 9045XY from the direction of SU83. The coordinates, however, don't seem to give any indication as to the planet's general direction. At least nothing we're able to immediately work with. When King Kai provided the directions to Bulma, she freaked out about how far it was and questioned how they'd get there in any reasonable time using the Earth's technology. So in verse 9045XY were usable coordinates, but in the real world, it's just total gibberish. So the SU83 part, I'll come back to that a bit later as well. So simply put, the coordinates don't give any indication of which way Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan would have traveled if we're using a map or a standard 8-point compass, for example. So what else do we know? We know that the nameless Namekian was able to drift from Namek to Earth following the cataclysm. We know that the Saiyans knew a Namekian was on site, and with the information from the Dragon Ball Super manga in Granola the Survivor, we know that the Saiyans wiped out a group of Namekians on planet Serial, leaving only Monaito. That could explain how the Saiyans knew what a Namekian was. They ran into them on planet Serial and then wiped them out, and then when they went back, they were boasting about how they killed so many Namekians and how they were terrible fighters and blah blah blah. You know how Saiyans get down. In Daizenshu 7, there's allegedly some additional information provided about Planet Namek. I don't own any of the data books, I'm having to rely on translations I found elsewhere for this bit. Now, according to the data book, Namekians either lost the ability to develop spacefaring technology or they abandoned it altogether following the cataclysm. So it's likely Namekians, ventured out into space and mingled with other races in the past, and that could also be why Saiyans knew what a Namekian was. On the topic of the cataclysm, I have some questions. Did other Namekians send their young off into space hoping that they'd survive the cataclysm? I'm also wondering if the Namekians on planet Serial were, refugees from Namek to Serial following that cataclysm. And I'm also wondering exactly how much of Superman's story inspired Akira Toriyama, because he's used the whole Jor-El Superman thing twice now. Once with Bardock and once with Katas. We'll come back to that another day perhaps. So remember how I mentioned that there were Namekians on planet Serial? Planet Serial's location isn't known either. And without knowing this location in Universe 7, using it as a starting point is out of the question. All we know is that it took Goku and Vegeta 18 days to get there in the heat of ship. Nothing about the direction of travel was mentioned, so we don't know if it's in the same or opposite direction to Planet Namek. The same goes to Planet Yardrat. I thought to check in on Planet Yardrat because after the fight with Frieza, Goku jumped in the Ginyu ship, Punch Star, and that flew off somewhere else into the universe, and he crash landed there sometime after. Don't know how far he traveled, don't know how long he traveled because he was mostly unconscious at the time when he crashed. Alright, so now might be a good time for some visual aid. This is what the Dragon World looks like. You can see certain familiar landmarks like the check-in station where you'll find King Enma. You can see there's Snake Way, and over here at the end of Snake Way you can see King Kai's planet. You can also see the other 3 planets for the Kais. How exactly is King Kai's planet north? Like, Just look at it. It's right at the tail end of Snake Way. How is that north? This image right here does a better image of displaying the 4 quadrants as you'd expect them to be. Alright, so you may have noticed that I only just mentioned that the Dragon World is separated into 4 quadrants, representing the 4 points on a compass, that being north, south, east, and west. The reason for that is, it didn't help either. You know this image of the 4 Kais? Only 2 of them are canon to the manga. The East and the West Kai, though shown in the anime, are not strictly speaking canon. We're most familiar with King Kai, who is in charge of the northern quadrant of the Dragon World, referred to as the North Galaxy. None of the planets discussed so far exist in this quadrant, only the Earth. Planet Namek is said to exist somewhere outside the North Galaxy, but that could literally be anywhere. So remember the coordinates of Planet Namek provided by King Kai, 9045XY from the direction of SU83. After everything else turned up nothing, I began to speculate, thinking that maybe the S referred to south, as in the South Galaxy, or at least a southward direction of travel after leaving Earth. The South Galaxy is overseen by the Southern Kai, you know, the tallest of the 4 Kais. He was seen in chapter 428 of the manga, with his only known fighter being Papoi. Pretty much every planet mentioned to be in the South Galaxy is movie canon only. So Tapian from Rat of the Dragon, his home planet was in the South Galaxy. This is the same South Galaxy that was destroyed by Broly in the original movie. Well, in any event, Planet Namek is most certainly not located in the South Galaxy, so that's another dead end, unfortunately. As neither the East or the West Skies have been reviewed in the manga, there's no information about their respective galaxies either. There is one last bit of information that could suggest the likely location of the elusive planet Namek. However, this isn't concrete either. The Kanzenshu Gods and Cosmos Guide, link provided below in the description, states that Elder Kai, when he was a Kaioshin from 15 generations ago, warned the Namekians about using the Dragon Balls. Now, Elder Kai was the Supreme Kai of the East at the time. That likely suggests that the location of Planet Namek should be in the East Galaxy, but again, East and West Kais haven't been revealed in the Dragon Ball manga officially, and there's no known information about their galaxies, so it's speculation at best. I wasn't able to locate an image showing Namek and the Earth except for this one, which shows Frieza Planet 79, Planet Vegeta, and Planet Namek all within relative proximity, while the Earth is way over there. Because I don't own the data book the image is said to be from, I can't really say with any certainty if it's accurate, and I suggest you take it with a grain of salt. So without any conclusive evidence of where Planet Namek is, our best guess is that it's located somewhere in the East Galaxy based on what Elder Kai said. In conclusion, Planet Namek, home of the Namekians, sits somewhere outside the North Galaxy, along with pretty much every other planet mentioned in the series. The planets that were mentioned to be in South Galaxy are all movie only. Hell, even New Namek, which is a totally different planet as the original was destroyed, does not have its location mentioned. It could be somewhere in the North Galaxy, as King Kai helped them to find a replacement that was similar to their old home, but their old home was said to be outside the North Galaxy, and he was able to find that, so who knows. Basic conclusions is Toriyama sucks at world building. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Do you agree that Planet Namek is likely to be in the East Galaxy, or do you have another more likely explanation? Or if you agree with Tech King that
geography is everything,
or astrology in this case, and you think that Toriyama and the Dragon creative team should spend some more time fleshing out these details for the planets they've introduced, leave me a comment below with your thoughts, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.